والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show how to make the network configuration between a Turtlebot machine or a robot machine and a workstation. So the objective is to allow a workstation to control a robot remotely through the network. And for this, we need to do a small number of operations. So we have here in the left side, we have a virtual machine that represents the workstation. And here on the right side, we have another virtual machine that represents the robot machine itself. So first of all, we are going to do some changes in the bash.rc file. So I'm going to open gedit.bash.rc in the workstation, okay? And here I'm going to open gedit.bash.rc into the robot machine. Okay, so in the robot machine here, we need to add some configuration. We need to export the ROS master URI. So these are environment variables. So the ROS master URI, ROS is going to run on the robot machine. So the ROS master is going to run into the local host of the robot machine. So that's why here we put local host, and this is the default port number. And then also we need to specify the host name, ROS host name. These are environment variables related to the ROS environment. So ROS host name, and here we put the IP address. So we need to find what is the IP address of the robot first. So I'm going to make ifconfig, and here we find that this is the IP address for ETH1. It can be other interfaces depending on your network configuration. So when you find the IP address here, you have to change it accordingly into the bash.rc. So I remind that we are now into the robot machine. We have to change ROS host name and ROS IP environment variables according to the IP address of the robot. So, and then these three lines, it allows us to display the environment variables that we have set, so to make sure that they are correct. Okay, and once this is done, we have to open a new terminal. So when we open a new terminal, we're going to have the ROS host name and the ROS IP address according to what we already did here. So we have to make sure that it corresponds to the real IP address of the robot. So now we have completed with the configuration of the robot machine. We will do almost the same with the workstation. So first of all, we need to open another terminal and find the IP address. So here we can find the IP address is 102. I'm going to take this, and we do the same thing. We need to export ROS IP. So I'm going to export ROS IP to the correct IP address. So I need to just change this value. And then what is very important, we need to specify the correct ROS master URI. So remember that ROS is going to run on the robot machine that has this IP address 192.168.8.101. So here it must be 192.168.8 and .101. So it corresponds to the IP address of this robot machine. Okay, so ROS IP is the IP address of the workstation. ROS host name is the IP address of the workstation, and ROS master URI refers to the IP address of the robot machine here. Okay, so as you can see here, the ROS master URI is going to run on the local host of the robot machine. Okay, so now if we are going to test if everything is running fine. Okay, I'm going now to open let me close and open again. So we have also ROS host name here showing 102. Okay, and then the ROS master URI is showing the one of the robot machine. Now let's run ROS on the robot machine. I'm going to run ROS4. Okay, and on another terminal, let me run ROS run turtle C. Turtle Sim node. So now I have ROS running on the robot machine. I can do a ROS topic list, and I can find ROS topic list here showing all the topics related to the Turtle Sim. So now if everything is fine, if I'm going to do ROS topic list into the workstation, I should also see the same topics. We can see now that we have all the topics. So if I close ROS in this machine, so I'm going to close ROS here. If I make ROS topic list, I'm able to communicate with the master. Why? Because I have closed ROS here. So if I put ROS back, ROS core, so from this machine, I'm able to find the topics, okay, running on the remote machine of the robot. If I run Turtle Sim again, and I run again here ROS topic list, so you can see that now this workstation have an access to this robot machine. So any code that you write in this workstation machine will be able to control all the ROS nodes and ROS topics that are running into the robot machine. Okay? So let's see now if you make any error into the configuration. For example, I'm going to close now everything again. Okay, and let me go to gedit.bash.rc. So imagine that you were not able to, you did not do that correctly. Let's say that you put the IP address of the workstation, okay, of the workstation itself. So now, to test, I have to close all these terminals. Open them again. Okay. Okay, so let's see what happens now. If I run ROS core here, okay, I'm able to make a ROS topic list with no problem on the same robot machine. Now, if I make ROS topic list, okay, it's not running. Why? Because it considers that the ROS master URI is in the same workstation. So now it doesn't refer to this robot machine. If I want to fix what I should do, I put this back to the IP address of the robot machine. Okay, I have to make source.bashrc again to take effect. So now you can see that the ROS master URI takes effect. And if I make ROS topic list, so we're able to see the same topics that are running here in this machine. If now I make ROS run Turtle Sim node, and again I will be able to see all the topics on the remote machine. So to summarize, when you want to configure your workstation to control a robot machine, so you have to make a configuration into both the robot machine and the workstation. So in the robot machine, you have to specify the ROS master URI as running in localhost, and this is the default port number. And you have also to export the ROS hostname and the ROS IP of the robot machine to be equal to the IP address of the robot machine, and the IP address you can get it using the if config, okay, which gives you the IP address. So exactly the same thing what you should do in the workstation. You have to specify ROS IP and ROS hostname as the IP address of the workstation. So here, IP address of the workstation. Same thing for the ROS hostname, okay. And then the ROS master URI, it must specify the remote machine. Now, for in our case, it's the robot machine. So this is the IP address of the robot machine, as you can see here. So doing so, you will be able to develop programs that run into your workstation and to control the robot machine. So to illustrate this, on an example, I'm going to run an application on the workstation machine that controls the Turtle Sim on the robot machine. So I'm going now to make ROS run Turtle Sim node. So now we have Turtle Sim, and I want to control this using the teleop application of the Turtle Sim. So instead of running on the same robot machine, I'm going now to run into the workstation machine. So all I need to do is to make a ROS run. So notice here that I didn't run ROS core. Okay, if I run ROS core, it's going to have a conflict because ROS core is already running on 1.1. This is the robot machine. So you should not run ROS core again because it's already running. But you can do ROS run. So turtle teleop or turtle sim turtle teleop. Okay. And now I am in the workstation machine here. I'm in this workstation machine. I'm going to press the arrow keys, and you are able to see that now the turtle is moving, okay, controlling its motion from the workstation. So now we come to the end of this tutorial, and thanks for watching.